Hi, I'm Maddie. I'm a non-binary person. I use she, her, and they, them pronouns, and I'm 24. Life with late-onset Pompe disease, for me, started in 2009 when I was 11. My mom had pulled my hair back for a field day at our school, and just clumps of my hair was falling out, which is not normal for an 11-year-old. So my family took me to the doctors, and one thing led to another, and we had a variety of different tests done, and ultimately ended up at Children's Hospital at a neuromuscular clinic where they did genetic tests, physical tests, biopsies, and things like that, which ultimately led to the diagnosis of Pompe disease. I currently work for a disability rights organization doing all of their media and marketing with writing and publication and podcasts and social media. The org primarily serves to provide free legal and advocacy services for people with disabilities. Getting a diagnosis of a chronic progressive illness at a young age, I think, is a very transformative thing to experience, because even from a young age, I was thinking about how my body was going to exist in my environment around me in 30 years down the line. So even from a young age, I was thinking about things like accessibility, disability inclusion, social access, equity, and things like that that I didn't have the words for at the time. Pompe disease and having a chronic illness and a disability really frames how I understand the world around me and understanding who I am as a person and how I've been able to grow to love my whole self, all of my identities, disability included. Having Pompe disease, I tire really easily, I get fatigued, I might get sick more easily. So how far I walk in a day, or if it's really hot out, or anything like that, plays a huge role in my daily decision making, the things I think about, and how I navigate the world around me. Disability is a huge spectrum with physical disabilities, cognitive, mental health related disabilities, and your perception of what people might look like doesn't automatically mean that someone is or isn't disabled. And I think if we were to do a better job of expecting disability, the world would be a much more inclusive and accessible space. And we have a really long way to go when it comes to accessibility and inclusion for folks with disabilities. I say I have 2 full-time jobs because I have a full-time job and I'm chronically ill. And sometimes the amount of energy I spend thinking and acting on that condition and maintaining my health is sometimes more time and energy than my actual job that pays for my housing, my food, whatever. So it's not as simple as the medical community sometimes thinks it is. It's gotten better, but there's definitely still a disconnect between the patient community and people that are developing companies for patients. If you're not involving patients in every step of the process, you're not doing it right. Patients being more involved in the companies creating drugs or formulating programming and things like that for the patient community, to have more patients working there and involved in every step of the process would be very beneficial, not for the patients, but for the company as well, to do better work and provide better care. If you just bring folks in occasionally, it's not going to be as meaningful as you want it to be. And I think patients have so much to give as far as information and insight into what their lives look like, that it could radically change your ability to provide really good care to people. As someone that has done infusions every other week since being in 5th grade, I know the amount of time I've spent months and even years of my life that I've had to designate to medical things. And I think with gene therapy, it's really exciting that I could almost reclaim that time and have that time back in my life. Cause like I want to travel. I want to feel good for longer. I want to be able to rely on my body more and not on this like every 2 week schedule coming around. What's exciting about gene therapy, it kind of gives power and time and energy back to the Pompe community and myself as just an individual to be able to do the things that I want to do as a person, my hobbies, my interests, my work, things like that. I think all of these parts of me and all of these experiences make me who I am and are all very integral in understanding my story and telling my story, you know, being out, being and appearing how I want is like what little me, little Maddie could like never have dreamed of.